And another good evening, YouTubers, fellow reloaders, collectors, restorers. And I think those 2 points will potentially address what's in this hopefully very well packed, very nice, sturdy cardboard box. This is a piece of history that I stumbled across completely by accident, wasn't looking for it, but when I saw it, I could not pass it up. So it was an auction, and what was interesting was it was mislabeled. The item was mislabeled. So for those who know what this is and have seen this particular, it's a press. It's a shot shell press, a 12-gauge shot shell press. So for those of you who have ever seen this and know what it is, and you've seen them online, there are two things that should come to mind: cost and what's the other word I want to? Condition, I guess, is the best word. What I've seen online is very high cost and very terrible condition because of what this is and the history behind it. So this is something from a company called C&H, and I've done a bunch of stuff with C&H, and this actually is their old emblem, because in, I think it was 1990, they merged. I don't know if 4D bought CH or CH merged with, I don't, whatever the history is. In any case, the current company, which produces what I would call higher end components for reloading, both on shot shell as well as pistol rifle, CH4D. I've been buying their stuff for a while. I have their Swage stuff. Obviously, I have some RCB stuff in here. See, I'm an equal opportunity reloader. So this is an item from CH. The original CH, and CH stood for Charles or Charlie Henkman. And 4D was another separate company. So the CH and the 4D, I always wondered, what the heck is the CH4D? And now I know it's two companies, two separate names merged into one. So CH4D. So back in the day, Charlie Henkman, yeah, he was the bomb. So if you've seen old gear, you know that a lot of old gear is represented in today's designs. So I went searching online, as I always do, some old CH. So this press is from 1960-ish. So I went looking for old CH ads, and this is the actual press. It's called the Shellmaster. And when you see it, you're like, okay, looks kind of like a mech to some degree, and some of the other reloaders. And this is a better picture of it, and it was $75 back in the day. And this is not a complete picture because this doesn't show the shot and the powder bottles. It just shows the press with the 4 die stations. Here is a better color picture of a fully populated Shellmaster. And again, $75 in 1960. I don't know what $75 in 1960 is, which means I'll probably put it right about here in the in the video. And then on Etsy, I can't determine if this was an original thing from the 60s or a repro, but in any case, this is just a scanned copy of it. It was a little 3-page, a little pamphlet that had 3 fold-out pages that, kind of like that, and it talked about the C&H catalog for reloading. And again, CH was in El Monte, California. I don't know where CH4D is today, but when you look at some of these presses, CH4D still sells some of these type presses. Again, they've expanded in other components. And again, here is the Shellmaster in all of its glory, again, for $75. So we're going to open this box, and we're going to see, hopefully, a product that looks kind of like this, because the ones I saw online were so rusted and so beat up and were so expensive for that. This one looked to be, I'm not going to say in new condition, because obviously 1960 is like 60 some odd years ago. I'm going to say it's in exceptional condition considering its age. And the person who packed this, I'm going to give them kudos because they did a phenomenal job. This reminds me of how my dad used to pack stuff. My dad loved, so an old person packed this. My dad loved the nylon reinforced packing tape, masking tape, whatever. This stuff. So this stuff is good. This stuff is the bomb. When my dad would send my sons, my mom and dad would send their grandkids candy from Chicago. There were these malt balls that were phenomenal, and this is going to be too big to open without hitting here. So let me move the camera back a little bit. In any case, the boys always knew when Grandma and Grandpa were sending stuff because my father, their grandpa, would always wrap the box with all of this tape, and not just this much. I mean, it was just smothered. So this guy hopefully packed this quite nicely. Again, kudos to the amount of cardboard. I mean, this is heavy-duty cardboard, not the Chinesium stuff you get from Amazon that, you know, if it rains out or if it's a little moist out, the stuff is... And we used to use these for our cat, who is no longer with us, because they were great for scooping. And I'm being careful because I don't want to accidentally throw something off the side. There's the handle. And again, Shellmaster. So when you look at this, again, this is from 1960. Look at the condition of that. That's just amazing in terms of the condition of the paint, the non-rust factor for something that's all steel. And again, CH. So this was originally listed as an incorrect name, which is why the bids were ridiculously low. And I went in and put my bid and won the item. All right, so I'm going to move the camera because this is so big that I don't want to, and I have limited bench space, so I'll be back in a second. This dude, this guy, that's probably not a fair statement, this seller gets an A+ because I have purchased stuff online, and my biggest gripe, especially when people charge a good amount for shipping, is please pack it decently. So this thing was packed, I would say, expertly, even to the point where the other items, because my comment was please take care in packing, especially the shot and powder bottles, because you can't get this stuff anymore. So if it gets damaged in shipping, it can't be replaced. So we're going to open up these other items and see what we have. So he gets a beyond A+ for packing. This is how people should pack. And I think it comes down to some people know the value, and I'm not talking about the monetary value, the value of something that's old in terms of age and condition. So before I go on, look at this press. You know, other than dirty, this is in exceptional condition. This should clean up and look as good. And again, hopefully that this should be as easy as just putting the pins back in. This should clean up and look, where's my picture? Should look exactly like that. This is drop dead gorgeous. And what I find really cool is look at the size of this. So this reminds me of a mech in terms of, you know, here's your stations for depriming, and this looks like, I don't know if that's straight or not, but again, we'll deal with it. Depriming, resizing, priming. This is going to be crimp, and this is going to be pushing your wad and stuff down in and tightly packing. So again, very, very basic shot shell reloader, single process, single shell, as opposed to a progressive. And he's got this packed so well that, what do we have here? Oh, wow. So here we have, he's got even packing in here for these steel. So these would be your shot and powder bushings. Look at this. I mean, that's just beyond cool. That's just too cool. Too effing cool. We'll put that back in here. So obviously, you know, this will be a series of reconstruction. All right, so I'm going to guess that each of these are the powder bottles, or rather powder bottle and shot bottle. I think this side was powder and the other side was shot. Let's see. And he's using good tape, not that cheap stuff. Not the cheapity cheap stuff. Yeah, again, just great packing. The fact that it was packed like this and in a separate box so that nothing's clanking around, nothing's going to get damaged. Look at that. Oh, wow. That is just too cool. So here's powder, and that is just too effing cool. And this should go kind of like this. Sorry about that, family interruptus. So one of the comments that I requested of the seller was, and you can see those will need a little reconditioning. But again, oh my goodness, in such amazing condition. And I will tighten this very lightly, just so that it's, I would loosen this, move it out of the way, and then tighten it. And that's what was in that box. So I'm imagining this box contains the shot. Again, this seller gets beyond 5 stars, A+ for packing. This is, I don't know if I finished my thought previously, this is from somebody who understands value. And again, I'm not talking about financial value. I'm talking about historical value in the sense that, yeah, you could have thrown this in a box and everything would have been jumbled around loosely and metal hitting the sides here to create, you know, dings and stuff. But you didn't. And that is cool. And here we go with shot. Oh yeah, these are, yeah, this press got used. Look at that. But again, you cannot, this will probably not get cleaned. I don't want to take any chances with potentially damaging. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? What am I going to do? I don't remember where I put it. It was something that was used on the green machine. But now that I'm looking for it, this set. I think Harbor Freight sells a similar set. I got this many years ago, and I hate this case because it's a bear. Let's see, those are flat heads, and this looks like about the right size. I got this many years ago. I want to say when I was doing my cash register restoration, because trying to get into a certain area of the, there was just no, and it looks like based on, You know what? Based on the pattern around the metal, I'm going to say that these came forward and the metal rested against the red, because the wear pattern around and again, all I'm trying to do is tighten this so that only problem is you got to get it started so that it bites. So now I don't have to, there we go, I don't have to adjust that. So for this one, we will turn this press around. Again, I'm not sure if I'll take this off, how I want to polish. So again, when I look on the bottom of the press and I see how things are mounted, because it looks like these springs could use a good cleaning. All of it could use a good cleaning. There's just no question about that. It's just how clean does one want to get with it. All right, let's, sorry for my hand being in the way. Let's maybe do this. And the name of C&H Die Company is embossed on the cast here. Casting. And it looks like, oh wow, these are cotter pins. These are tiny. Oh goodness. All right, we have a cotter pin here. Which one does it look like? They okay, that is tiny. We are going to make sure that doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to guess that that will come out like that. Oh, that needs some oiling. That needs some oiling. That's a tight. That's a tightness. That should be enough to clear this. Or not. Tight tolerance. I'm trying not to damage that little cotter pin. Wow, that's a tightness. And do I have any steel wool? A little tiny piece of steel wool. All right, we're in there. We're going to let that, where's another method of stopping that from hitting? And we're going to do the same thing. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put this back. All right, that's back on. Let's see which one wants to play nice. We'll oil this up a little bit. Looks like, ooh, that's some tightness. I'm gonna do all kinds of oiling here. That's some tightness. It's less tight now. All right, so that's how that goes. Now let's figure out, okay, there we go. There we go. A little oil helps everything. There we go. Back to our friend. Yeah, these will get polished, probably by steel wool. So the next time you see this, I'm gonna let that one down. And we'll put our buddy back. Wow, I don't even know where I'd get that. So maybe, ooh, these are tiny. Oh my goodness. I'm sure something is still. Ooh. Yeah, those are fragile. Fragile for sure. Super fragile. All right. So now we have assembled this press from 1960, this press that is older than me, and we can get rid of that because now I don't know, so this is going to be its first pull in God knows how long. I don't know what kind of leverage is necessary, so I'm going to hold this off to the side. Oh wow, that's smooth. Wow, that's kind of just like the green machine. That is really smooth. That's wear and tear from, I'll call that a design, I'm not going to say flaw. Wow. So, D-prime. Actually, let me, I'll be right back. Let me grab a shell. Back in a moment. 2 shells. These are some Winchester AAs. All right, so I have no idea how long it's been since this has had a shell through it. And these actually have, oh yeah, this is going to be gorgeous when it's all cleaned up and looking bright fire engine red. So I believe the process was to take it down. Okay, that's as far as it's going to go. And then when on the upstroke, I believe it popped the primer and kicked out. Okay, so it did not. So I wonder if it needs some type of adjustment. Okay, that didn't work either. So maybe we have a non-functioning. I'm pretty sure that's how it did it. I don't know if I'm supposed to make that any tighter or not. Here's the other thing. Help me, folks. There is zero zero documentation on the Shellmaster. The best I found was a video from some dude who was using an ashtray, a giant glass ashtray, in 1960 to dump his primers in, and he got as far as doing 1, 2, 3 stations, and then the video ended. But it showed him depriming like this. So the deprime is definitely on the upstroke. I don't know if there's a difference between, you know, hulls in the 1960 versus, you know, today it would be a deprime on the downstroke. All right, so that's a fail, which is a bummer. Oh, okay, we got some success, and we popped out. Okay, so semi-success. I don't know what's up with this one. Not going to worry about it. All right, so that's the process. So it's a deprime on the upstroke, and then it kicks it out. So it's different than today. All right, so if that was a live prime, we now have a reprimed. That's going to be crimp. So obviously powder, all your stuff, your wads, your shot, your I don't know if you'd have cover. I don't again, like a wax topping, and then this particular thing, they showed a device very similar to this. I'll call it a die size, in that it took this, it put this in a die size, so you had the die size on a device, and it essentially just packs. And again, I'm not sure how. I'd love to find instructions to see. Obviously, it's not going to go any lower than that. So this is just a Lyman case gauge that would serve, you know, the purpose of holding things. Again, this would be actually locked in here, so I don't know how that's going to actually occur. So maybe unnecessary. So, but again, I saw it and it's part of the video. And then the video ended right there. I'm going to say the video wasn't supposed to end because it had not done the crimping station, and I don't know how this will crimp. So we will find out. And that didn't happen. I don't know if there's, I didn't even look in here to see if there is an insert. Okay, yeah, there is an insert in there. So it's a question of how far down that needs to go. Very cool. That will be a very easy die. Ooh, I don't want to do that. That is very interesting in how that goes back down in there. A little rough on the. Okay, so I'm gonna say that. Let's find the threads. I'm gonna say that. It's not set up correctly. Okay, I felt something there. Okay, so yeah, it's just not set deeply enough. Not going to worry about that right now until everything is all cleaned and polished. Then I'll worry about the crimp setting for 12 gauge. But that is cool. So this is 1960 technology. So if anybody out there can find, I challenge you, I double challenge you to find any documentation. All you're going to find, and trust me, I've been doing this for weeks, all you're going to find is pamphlets, like a sales brochure, more sales brochure, more C&H you know, promotion, and then again a Shellmaster brochure, sale promotion. You're not going to find, I can't find, so again, I would love it if you can help me. I can't find any documentation on this, and obviously doesn't take a whole lot of documentation to figure out. You've got your D prime and size, you've got prime, you've got packing in between powder, and these just operate great. Springs on these are great. In between powder and shot, very manual, and then a crimp, all within the space. So I don't know why new reloaders are so freaking huge. This is in a space of 6 by 6, almost the same footprint as the Green Machine. So you can bet your ass I will be making a cool wood base and probably doing some more epoxy resin finish, maybe a better job this time, on the C-H Shellmaster, and with its powder and shot inserts. Just too cool. Absolutely gem of a find. Again, when you look at the condition of everything on here, the fact that it's completely feature full. This might be a fakey. This one doesn't match this one, so I don't know what's going on here unless that's supposed to be like that. Let's see if the picture shows that. Does the picture show? No, the picture does not show this particular side with this nut. So that nut we may need to re-nut that nut. I don't know if that's original or a replacement. This kind of looks original. That one doesn't. And if that's the worst that this press has in terms of, you know, it's got some dings, but this should clean up beautifully, and very similar to my Green Machine. Once it is cleaned up, you'll see it. So it's going to be a few weeks or more, because I've got more Green Machines showing up in the near future to do Green Machine stuff. But now we have Green Machine and a Shellmaster. So this is very Mech 600 Junior-esque, Mark IV, if you ask me. But yeah, that is really smooth. I'm digging on on just the old design being so simple and straightforward. Sometimes the simple stuff does the job, and it doesn't need to be fancy schmancy overkill. And obviously these can adjust, so you can pull them forward, pull them back, do whatever. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And I'm guessing the paint will look absolutely phenomenal. And I can't tell if this was dropped right here. I'm thinking it was, because there's a big dent. And then again, maybe not, because it's meant for the nut. I don't see how that could have been dented right there, or if that's part of the design. I don't know. Let me see if I can tell from... yeah, actually, no. That is part of the design, this little indentation. So we've got an indentation there. And this is the back side of the press, so you can't really tell. Or no, it's not the back side, but you can't tell here, but you can clearly tell here that there is there's a channel. So we have a little channel there. So it wasn't damaged, and this will mount very nicely. But look at the absolute condition. Let me see if I can reach over and get in here a little bit. Let me bring this back. See if there's any way to... Let me pick right here, just to see what how that may clean up. Yeah, that's gonna... Yeah, look at the red pop already. There's a lot of gunk there. There's a lot of years of gunk. Lots of years of gunk. Oh yeah, you can see the red wanting to pop. That's gonna look beautiful when it's very, very clean. Yeah, that's very cool. So I'll have a look to see what's underneath here, to see how these are held in, because I want to get those on the polishing wheel. I'd like to strip everything down. I'm going to guess that these two screws hold those in. Not sure what's going on here until I can see under the press, and I don't want to tip it over. Let me see if I can get a look-see. I'm going to lift it up. Okay, yeah, a couple of bolts. Looks like we've got a bolt here and a bolt there, and these two. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take probably one of these bolts and put it here to replace this less original looking one. Let's see what these look like. Yeah, one of these looks a little more original. So yeah, that'll be cool. So this looks like, so it looks like the whole base can come off. It's just a bunch of nuts and bolts. So the base comes off. Obviously the guide rods come off here. These will all come off. So this will completely disassemble relatively as easy as me putting the handle on. So I just need to be careful as all shizzle in cleaning it up and polishing. But yeah, this is going to look beautiful. I guarantee that's going to look gorgeous. Gorgeous. Give it some time. See you in a few weeks. Later.